Concord School Committee to order. It is 6 o'clock on Wednesday, October 22nd. We have a quorum here in the room. I see Aisha online, and Michael let us know he could not be here tonight. So with that, I wanted to read a quick statement that I released to the Bridge over the weekend. I'll read that. I have one update to a comment I made 2 weeks ago, and then we'll jump into the rest of the agenda. So my statement goes as follows. This past weekend, a second scarecrow-like object with a message containing demeaning language toward Superintendent Hunter was placed at the end of the street of an elected school committee official. This anonymous act of intimidation is deeply disturbing and unacceptable, and it appears to be escalating, as the message this time included reference to violence. The Concord Police Department has been notified, and we trust that the department will take these escalating threats seriously. We call upon the Concord community to speak out against this blatant and cowardly attempt to intimidate a public figure. Concord is better than this. We will not allow fear and violence to dictate the administration of our schools. With resolve, Andrew Herchek. It's no fun reading those statements, but thank you for your patience. The other thing I wanted to mention quickly is at the last meeting, I incorrectly referenced that the TAC Transportation Committee sent correspondence that had some concerns with the Bruce Freeman Trail connection to this building. And I just want to correct the record to say that a member of TAC, speaking on their own behalf, sent those concerns to the school committee. So I wanted to set the record straight. All right, with some administrative stuff out of the way, I'd like to call on the CMS Student Building Committee. All right.
So while they settle in and Mr. Cameron settles, just acknowledging that this group has been together for 3 years. They were in, it's longer, time is a blur. So they were much younger. They were not all at the middle school. They all are now. And we're really excited to bring them here to kick off our night to really celebrate the Concord Middle School, the Ellen Garrison Building at Concord Middle School. So welcome, everybody. So good to see you.
And this is about a third of the group. We started being spread out amongst the elementary level and the middle school level. Back in the day that the middle school had 2 buildings. Not sure if you remember that. And we're spread out again because those students who were 8th graders last year when we opened are up at CC. They are, or were absolutely invited, but along with some of the 7th and 8th graders who were on the committee, they had other commitments this evening. I think it would be great if they introduce themselves and try to remember when you started, because some of these students were in 4th grade when they started.
I think we have a traveling mic too, if that's helpful.
Oh, right, yeah, that's probably easier.
What grade are you in now, Haley?
Or 7th.
7th.
Haley Diana and 4th grade. Anaya Rana, 4th grade.
And now you're in?
7th.
My name is Hiba Bayezid, and I started in 5th grade, but now I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Alex Ryan. I started in 4th grade and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Miles Berber. I started in 5th grade and now I'm in 8th grade.
And our students have some pictures of their, it does sound like 3 years, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Their 3-year journey that they would like to just share around. This is part of a display that we have available for all of the guests to the Ellen Garrison at Concord Middle School building. Why don't you guys share on that side of the table? The only other thing we wanted to share, and then feel free to ask questions of our student building committee, is it just so happens that a great coincidence in timing happened that we are doing the ribbon cutting of our new recess area this week on Friday. We also timed it when Dr. Hunter will be here during our lunches as well. So these students are going to be cutting a ribbon and opening our recess area that was completely designed by the students. They chose the teachers, they designed the area, which is just one of the things they did.
Unmuted, sorry, that was my bad.
All right, sorry. Questions for the committee? Is there a question?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, tell us what it was like. What was the experience like? What kinds of, what kind of role did you play? Tell us a little bit about it.
It was really fun. We got like a first view of the building, and we got to put in our input. It was an awesome experience.
I just kind of tagged along. I didn't know what to say.
It was really nice. We got to see like the building before it was like actually built, so that kind of gave us like an advantage over the other students and teachers.
I think it's fun because like we could see the building, how it started off and like how it looks now.
We got to help design it, and we got to see the inside before anyone else did.
And these 5 in total, I believe there were 12, were chosen, if I remember correctly, 130 students, ages I believe 9 to 12, put in applications. I'm interested, do any of you remember, because the strength of your application was why you were chosen. So I guess I'll ask you to try to remember back to your original purpose and charge of wanting to be on the student building committee. Do any of you remember that? Because that question was asked and chosen based upon that, the strength of your answer.
I wanted to see what my mom's job was like, and I wanted to help design the building.
I wanted to help design the building.
I wanted to help design the building, and I also wanted to represent like the Arab community in Concord.
I just wanted to see what my friends would think about it.
I think I wanted like some quiet spaces like the library in the building.
Can I ask a question? When I do projects with my wife, there's some things I get and there's some things I don't get. And so I'm curious, as you put your input in and now the building is come to life, are there stuff that you put in specifically that you see built, and maybe there's some stuff you wanted to be built and it couldn't be built for some reason? So I'm just wondering if you have any comments on that.
We helped design the playground, so that was some of our work. And yeah, the library is as good as it could get.
Small spaces, I like those.
We put in like some small spaces in the school, and I also remember like one kid wanted to have a pool like on the like, in the school, and well, we never had that. So.
Yeah. There's no pool?
I like how like there's different spaces for each team in like the grades.
I like the spaces and also the playground. We like had ideas what we wanted, and then the guy like designed them and made a few designs, and we got to choose one.
Were there things other than the swimming pool that you remember that you either advocated for, because it also might not be too late? Sorry, Dr. There was a couple that I'm remembering. I'm just curious if they remember. Are there areas or different ideas that didn't come to fruition that any of you remember? I really wanted swings for our recess area. Do you remember that? And you all outvoted me, and that's okay. You wanted swings too. Oh. We should have teamed up stronger. Do you remember another part of the building?
I wanted a cell tower.
We wanted like this big rock wall that was really high.
Yeah.
Thank you. An indoor rock wall in the gym.
Yeah, okay.
Well done, Haley.
So noted.
Can I ask one more question? it was a big time commitment, and it's 3 years now. Would you do it again if you could?
I think I would.
Okay.
Because it's like a fun experience, and I feel like you can you get like a lot of like benefits from it.
I think I would because like you get to help design the school.
Yeah, I would.
Same.
I definitely would. It was really fun.
Awesome.
Can I just ask one more question? Okay, so what is the best part either of this building or of middle school? It can be either one, and all of you were between both middle schools before, and now you're in one middle school. So if you could just comment on any of those things.
I like how like big the gym is and the ceilings, because in puberty the ceilings were like that high, and the ball would always hit it when we played the kids ball.
I like the fancy seating in the cafeteria that looks like a restaurant.
The cafeteria seating is like really good, just as she said, and like the way they put the food too. And I also like the library.
I like how it just looks like a small airport.
I like the common areas for each team.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Justin. Thank you guys for coming. It means a lot to us to have you here, and I think the building speaks for itself. So thank you very much for your time, and yeah, enjoy it.
I think we got our rock wall.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. Dr. Hunter.
Great, thank you. They're hard to follow, but I have highlights, and this is a Concord School Committee meeting, so my highlights are focused pre-K through 8, essentially. I want to highlight our work with EL, the literacy program, exponential learning. We're moving along. It's week 6 or so. PD has all been focused on that for the groups that are started to use it. I think already, and I heard teachers mention this as we were meeting with them this week, rigor is already up, you can tell, as kids are facing new challenges and different texts and the way they have to process and think about them and share them. And equity, it was really exciting to hear a teacher mention that the other afternoon. We have leveled some playing fields as this rollout happens. One, in terms of access, because there's so much structure and scaffolding built in that all of the kids can access the content and the material, even if you're still struggling to read it independently. And the background knowledge is built as a class. So it is not dependent on what you've done outside of school, whether you're more or less familiar with the themes that are being brought up. So I really loved to hear that, as they were already realizing some of those things that are enhancing us. We are working on a number of community outreach activities, which were in my goals, and we'll talk on some of the ones that are facing here later on in the night. I just want to mention we're working on community reader days at the elementary schools before Thanksgiving. So we're hoping, and I'm saying it here because it's the community at large we want. Parents aren't actually going to be our first audience. We really would love to have community members come in and read a book on a given day and time that we're going to put out, and we'd love one person for every classroom at each elementary school. So that's our goal. So watch for those invitations. We're excited for the guests from Nanai who will be visiting next week. They have schedules built to spend time at the high school, middle school, and Thoreau, and we'll keep sharing more details as those play out. In our most recent work on anti-Semitism, this is just a piece of the work, we had the faculty at K-5 go through the first round of training with Facing History, really with a look at the history of anti-Semitism. We're scheduling second follow-up sessions with the elementary K-5 staff, and all staff will have 2 sessions with a more practical, applicable approach to what does it look like and how do we intervene. And that was very well received. We had 120 surveys because we did all 3 schools together. 87% of them said that, and this is stunning survey data really, 87% of them said that it was a valuable hour that we spent with Facing History. The playbook here, and Justin will have to come and tell you this story more specifically, but we initiated the playbook for its first round here about a week ago, and the scenario was the finding of a swastika, and specifically talking about the impact of that. And I was able to travel classrooms and really hear kids really start to talk about what that feeling is, and how do they work together to prevent it, and what do they do if it were to happen to them here. But I heard a lot of things that make me know we're starting to process at a different level some of that specific content. We are working with the North Shore Alliance of LGBTQ Youth, and they are doing trainings at all the staff meetings as well, so that'll start up the first week in November. They're traveling through each school of faculty meeting. It'll take a few months to get to each one, but we wanted that to be building-based, so we're excited to have that begin. It is our ALICE season to really build our security and safety protocols. Really huge shout out to the Concord Police and the partnership that we have there. They will be training at the elementary schools. We train staff and build their capacity, and then we'll run a soft lockdown drill in a soft way. At middle and high school, we run full-blown ALICE drills, helping the kids to understand the goal is to get out if that's safe. The staff training is going to start up this next early November, and there's assemblies getting scheduled for the middle and high school. Just a reference, we've been hearing a lot of reference to the METCO PTG. We have always, and this is a standing invitation, would love to have that group reform. We haven't had interest in leadership up until now, but I will continue to put that invitation out. What we are seeing is some really strong connections building between the building-based PTG and the METCO community. I know this building, for example, has 3 METCO parents who are very active on the board and really engaged. So in the lieu of a METCO PTG, we're trying to really be sure that we're including the Boston population and that they are part of all plans and have voice at the table. So those are my highlights there. We have lots to say about this building, which is going to come up in the rest of the agenda. So.
Lori, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Thank you for all these updates. The EL curriculum you mentioned, you touched upon the equity and the access.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I mean, it's new, right? So is there data backing that up, or is this anecdotal? Or both?
Well, one of the reasons we chose the program is the data they have to back it up. Okay. What we're doing is seeing it start to come to life in the classrooms. We're only 5 weeks in, right. So we don't have data as of yet, but we expect our data will show those moves forward. I think probably second half of the year, Shelley will come and do a big EL download with you and really, I think, show you some examples of what kids are doing, because I think it in many ways speaks for itself in what we're asking of them. And boy, are they rising to the occasion.
But indicators are it's heading the right way.
Yes, yes. And to hear teachers verbally noting it so early feels really, really promising.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so I did back to school night at Willard, and they were actively talking about it in the classroom, which was really cool. So, and then the other thing I wanted to comment on is I know that your anti-Semitism plan is being circulated among at least a dozen other superintendents, which is really good. And for me, that just highlights that it's not isolated in Concord; it's all over. Unfortunately, it's being discussed collaboratively at the top level, superintendents. So I love to see that and the dialogue. And so thank you.
Yeah, in fact, when I shared it, immediate response was, "Can we have it?" We had met last March, and the immediate response was, "When can we all get together again?" Yeah. So we're booking a meeting.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Update. Any other questions? All right. Public comment. All right. Public comment. Our public comment period will be a period of 20 minutes. As a reminder, this is a meeting in the public and not with the public, so the committee will not be responding to any comments. If you are in the room and you would like to speak, you can submit a blue form, which I have a stack. If you are on Zoom, you can use the raise hand feature, and we will alternate. You will have 3 minutes, a time limit of 3 minutes. So we'll start in the room. Abby Flanagan.
Is that on? Great. Abby Flanagan, 398 Main Street. I am the president of the Alcott PTG and a member of the planning board, but I'm here in my personal capacity tonight as a proud parent of 3 kids in the Concord Public School System and a graduate of the Concord Public School System myself. I have a 2nd grader and a 1st grader at Alcott, and I have a little guy at Concord Integrated, and that's actually what I'm here to talk about tonight. I consider Concord Integrated Preschool to be, I'm biased, but the crown jewel of the Concord Public School System. I don't think we've spent enough time over the last year highlighting some of the incredible successes that our kids are having. And Concord Integrated, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a low-cost or no-cost preschool program, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and it is open both to community peers and kids with IEPs and 504s. My youngest, William, started there this September, and I have been absolutely blown away. He sprints in every day to what has turned out to be the most racially and ethnically diverse classroom I've seen in Concord schools, culturally, religiously diverse, a diversity of abilities, and his teachers, from the head classroom teachers, classroom aides, the one-to-ones, the PTs, the OTs, the SLPs, the directors, every single day they are giving a master class in empathy, inclusivity, and diversity. I can't even imagine how they're pulling off what they're pulling off every day in those classrooms. These kids are engaged, they are thriving, their pre-academic skills are just off the charts. And the other day I watched an English language learner, a nonverbal student, a student with an AAC, a student on a speech IEP, and a typically developing kid sitting together communicating beautifully. And to be honest, when I look at that and I think about our broader community, I think the adults in the room and in the community, myself included, could really take a lesson from these kids. They are demonstrating an incredible ability to meet the moment, to rise to the occasion, to thrive in an academic environment that's both challenging and supportive. And they're doing it in a way that really, it's a little emotional to see. And I am so grateful that the Concord Public School System has this program available. Not every school system does. Not every district has it available. It's a real gift to the community. And these teachers, we have Mrs. Abbott. She is a gem. I hope they get the credit that they deserve, and that the broader community really gets a chance to see that these people are showing up each and every day for our kids. And they're doing it with an incredible amount of joy and caring and expertise. And I know that our school district broadly has a lot of challenges right now, but I would like to think that maybe we could all show up for our kids the same way that these teachers and aides and OTs and PTs and SLPs and everybody there shows up for our kids each and every day. So I want to thank the district and the community at large for making this possible.
Thank you. All right, comment online from Jamie. Jamie Ring.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Yes. Great. Good evening. My name is Jamie Ring. I live at 80 Riverdale Road, and I'm a parent of a middle school student. I have been active in our schools also as a volunteer since my family moved here for the education system in 2019. I first want to say that I am horrified by the recent hateful incidents targeting our superintendent and the school committee. I want to state formally tonight at this meeting that you all have support and appreciation from so many families who are actively part of the Concord Public School System. I'm also disheartened and frankly a bit flabbergasted by this ongoing commentary in recent school committee meetings and in letters to the local newspaper that to me demonstrate a total disconnect between a small group of citizens and the actual lived experience of our students today. I wanted tonight to just share one small example of the great things happening in our schools under the direction of Dr. Hunter, which is the wonderful work all of our schools are doing to instill a sense of community service in our students. I have personally had the benefit of chaperoning student outings to volunteer at local nonprofit organizations. I've also personally organized supply drives for schools to support natural disasters, and am currently working to support additional charity and service initiatives. At every single turn, I have been met with support, efficiency in decision-making, and a sense of commitment from our administration about the importance of our students showing up in this way within our local and global community alike. From the Willard School Super Bowl benefiting Open Table to the grade-wide service days offered throughout the year to our Coats for Kids initiative, there is truly a way for every age group to get involved and give back. I find that to be such an incredibly unique and special facet of our Concord Public Schools and representative of the student experience offered to our students today. It also, importantly, speaks to the role our schools are actively playing within our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next in the room, we'll do Yumi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. My name is Yumi Asataki Suarez. I have 2 children in the Concord school system. And I know we just heard from these great kids and that you're going to have a further discussion on the middle school building project. So I don't want to be stealing anyone's thunder, but I did want to recognize a number of people who are involved in this incredible project. So now that we're in this beautiful building, I love this library space, it can be hard to remember where we came from. So a year ago, I was sitting in Mr. Shepard's classroom in Peabody for back to school night, and I thought I was going to pass out. It was so hot because there was no air conditioning, and the fan was doing the best that it can, but it just could not keep up. And because there was no real walls, I could hear snippets of the presentation next door, which was fine, but then when I talked to my daughter about it later, she said, yeah, it can be so annoying during class sometimes. So this year it was raining outside during back to school night, but the temperature was perfect in the building. My husband and I experienced the building as our daughter does, going from classroom to classroom, and we just loved meeting all the great teachers here. This is a thoughtfully designed building, and I'm so excited my 7th grader is here now. I'm excited that my 3rd grader will be here in a few years, and I think it's so wonderful that it's a resource for Concord students for years to come. So thank you, Dr. Hunter, Principal Cameron, all the other school leadership who's involved in this project. I know it was a lot of time and effort on top of your already demanding jobs. You know, the move-in date was on time, and my daughter experienced a very smooth transition into this new building. You know, I often say a disruption in my children's lives is a disruption in my life, but no disruption, which was really great. I'd like to thank the past and present school committee members who advocated for this project. And I know there are those who still bring up the naming process from 2 years ago. Rather than continuing to debate a decision that was made and taking focus away from important issues impacting our students today, let's move on. The original idea was to honor Ellen Garrison in a public academic setting. And this amazing building and everything it makes possible for teaching and learning is a wonderful and visible way to celebrate her legacy. And thank you to members of the building committee. I know not everyone, a lot of people aren't here. I know some are, but there are those in the community who are worried about how expensive this building is. I understand it's $7 million under budget, and thank goodness we kicked it off when we did because it is so expensive to build anything these days. I appreciate how well you stewarded the investment of this town, and I would just hope that all future projects you've set the bar for all future projects in Concord. To me, the success of the Ellen Garrison Building Project is an example of why so many parents and many others in this community have deep trust in the school leadership and school committee. And I know you'll continue to work to make the schools better for all our students, and for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thanks, Yumi. No one on the line? Mark Martinez?
Good evening. I serve on the Town Economic Vitality Committee and also the Town Land Use Working Group. However, tonight I'm here as a parent and a resident. I want to touch upon 3 themes. First is cowardness. Posting signs in the dead of night, using fake Facebook accounts, fake Nextdoor accounts, and fake emails is irresponsible and cowardly. I'm sorry that Dr. Hunter and certain members of the school committee have been targeted and harassed. And to those folks, please step forward, get involved, and make a difference. My second theme is negativity and balance. I've heard mountains of complaints and disparaging remarks from a small group of folks, but yet they offer very few concrete ideas for improvement. I hope going forward, these members of the community can bring constructive ideas to these meetings. Also, for those unhappy residents, stop looking for problems. Stop focusing on negativity. Negativity breeds further negativity and impedes progress. Quick thing to think about. If your daughter were to get a 93 on a final exam, would you celebrate and commend her for 93% success, or would you harp on the 7% that she may or may not have been able to achieve? And for many folks, stop being hypocritical. Unless you are the rare people who have achieved 100% of your goals and are completely 100% happy with your family, friends, and community, stop thinking that elected and town employees will be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to screw up. Give them a break, forgive them, and work with them. Finally, hearsay. Hearsay is basically lacking firsthand information. Certain residents who seem to attend these meetings commonly, continue to express frustration, in some cases disdain. I believe it's a very small group. They don't have children in the school. For many people, they haven't had children in any school for over 40 years. I've been at the Concord Middle School as a parent. I'm now a parent of the high school. I've gone to games, football games, Kick for Cancers, Mighty Moose, school organizational events. I don't see the vast majority of those people. So why does it matter? Well, unless speakers have firsthand information and knowledge, their views should carry very little weight. Just because someone may read it in the bridge or hear about it over coffee doesn't mean that the purported information is true. So for those people, please do your homework and please go to the source of information. Of course, every resident has the right to speak and express their views. However, I would argue that those opinions that are based on hearsay or contrary to facts are not credible and should not be valued. In closing, I want to thank Dr. Hunter, the staff, the teachers, and importantly the school committees, school committee members who are volunteer, for doing a very good job. There's room to improve, but thank you for your service and your leadership. Most importantly, my family wants you to know that you have our trust and our support.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Melissa?
Are you afraid to say my last name, Andrew?
Karchevsky, you got it.
I should just go by my maiden name. But good evening. My name is Melissa Karchevsky, and I'm honored to be here tonight. I have 3 kids in the Concord Public School System. I'm sorry I wrote notes here tonight. Or I wrote a speech. I'm going to read it entirely. I have 1 at Alcott and 2 at the Ellen Garrison Building at the Concord Middle School. And I'd like to speak to you tonight about my experience as a parent and volunteer with Dr. Hunter and the school committee. I served as the PTG president at Alcott School during the 23-24 school year, and I was VP the year prior. As part of that responsibility, I met monthly with Dr. Hunter, members of the school committee, and PTG leaders from the Medco and Concord Public Schools, including the wonderful preschool Abby spoke about earlier, the elementary schools, middle school, and the high school. Across 2 years of those meetings, I witnessed only professionalism, compassion, and steady leadership from Dr. Hunter and members of our school committee. I'd like to highlight that Dr. Hunter approached every issue, cell phone policies, balancing family priorities versus academic rigor, supporting youth mental health, celebrating cultural diversity in our students and families, and guiding the new middle school project with complete transparency and respect. Never once did I see or hear anything that was not thoughtful, inclusive, and deeply student-focused. As a parent, I recall I emailed Dr. Hunter one time after the mass shooting in Michigan, quite a while ago now, a few years ago, and I asked her what was in place at our schools in the event of a mass shooting. And within a day, within that same school day, I got a response. And I never thought I'd get that kind of a response from a leader. But I knew I would get a response because that is the kind of leader she truly is. She cares about our kids, the families in our community, and me, a parent. Recently, I've been, in a word, shocked by this truly slanderous signs appearing in town about Dr. Hunter, one recently reading "Hatchet for Hunter." I wonder how those people who were responsible for this could possibly do such a thing. Would they have the guts to stand up here in front of a group of people and admit that they did such a thing? Would they choose to tell their grandchild? Would they tell their own child that they did such a thing? I doubt it. Where is the respect and the human decency in our community? Words matter, and using threatening language against the leader of our children's public schools is completely unacceptable. At this middle school, they teach, through the town's Playbook initiative about acceptance of others. Our district prioritizes SEL curriculum from kindergarten forward, and there are trainings, cultural festivals, clubs celebrating diversity. The list goes on and on. I urge those criticizing, in their words, Dr. Hunter to actually speak with the overwhelming majority of families and understand their feelings toward Dr. Hunter in our schools, because I do believe they have the story wrong. The trust in our leaders is strong. As a community, we must reject divisiveness and come together in support and with respectful dialogue with our educators who dedicate themselves to our students every day. Dr. Hunter has led with integrity and care, and she deserves our trust and gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. We have time for two more. Start with Liz Gibbs.
Hi there. I'm Liz Gibbs from 12 Elm Street in Concord. I will also be reading my notes. So one of the primary reasons that we moved to Concord was because of the quality of the public schools, a driving factor that's shared by many who decide to live here. My husband and I currently have 4 students across 3 of the public schools, Alcott, CMS, and CCHS. I have an established working relationship with the superintendent, both as a past PTG president, vice president, and other committee lead, and as a parent. And over the 7+ years that we've had children in the Concord schools, I've seen firsthand how Dr. Hunter is thoughtful, transparent, and considerate of all perspectives in her leadership and in her decision making. Dr. Hunter knows our students. She's at every multicultural event across all of the schools, which is mandated. All of our schools celebrate the multicultural community that we have. She's at field games, she's at performances, and as we saw here today, she knows these students and is in full support of this Ellen Garrison building at the Concord Middle School. And so I'm speaking today out of deep concern for our schools and the community. Discourse in this town has become divisive and spiteful, and it seems to be fueled by hearsay and misinformation. The loudest voices are not the students and the parents who interact with our school leadership daily, both inside and outside of the classroom. Instead, community members who feel entitled to personally attack Dr. Hunter with signs calling her a liar, and most disturbingly a sign including inciting violence. And in a time where our students have to practice Alice drills, I say shame on you. And as adults, we set an example for our children. And just because you disagree with someone, it does not make it right to act with aggression. This type of behavior is most certainly not a lesson taught in our Concord schools. It is disgraceful, ugly, menacing, and against all that this town claims to stand for. It is in fact bullying, and it needs to stop. So let us remind ourselves that the members of the school committee volunteer their time to serve this community, and they should now not be in a position to have police watching their streets. I am speaking out in support of Dr. Hunter, our educators, the members of the school committee who are deeply committed to a community that fosters kindness and inclusion and not disrespect and aggression. And I urge others who share this support to stand up and please let your voice be heard. Thank you.
Okay, last one, Niryan Janda.
I'm Niranjana Nagarajan from 17 Derby Street, and I have a 10th grader and a 7th grader in the school system, and I'm here to share a perspective of someone who moved to this school district 4 years ago. I'm also an immigrant, so the entire American school system is new to me, so Concord has been a great window into how things work. Fundamentally, the job of a superintendent is to run the school district. This may seem obvious, but it's a complex system that involves focus on academics, culture, budget, child welfare, community engagement. It is a difficult job, and this is a very well-run school district. And I say this because my children spent the first 6 years of their education in a school district that, with the greatest love, can only be described as a hot mess. Right? I mean, it is, I want to reiterate maybe, I am so grateful that we have the school system and the school committee and the administration that does such a good job. It's not common. And I think we should take a minute to acknowledge and appreciate that this is a very well-run district. It is also, the fact that we can have this dialogue, this engagement with the community also speaks well to the way the school committee incorporates and listens to the town. And as such, all of us in the town, we should remember that, and we should treat our representatives with respect. Violence and threats against public servants is absolutely unacceptable, and I will say personally, it troubles me as well that the 3 targets of these threats so far have all been women. This is a deeply problematic dynamic, and it is not something that we should allow to continue as a community, because it is that community base of support and engagement. And believe me, as constituents, we should hold our representatives accountable. If we disagree with policy, we should have robust debate about that. If we have concerns to express, we should express them. Violence is not the answer. And I do want to acknowledge, as someone who maybe has a little bit of an outsider's perspective on this, that this is a great school district. You all are doing a fabulous job. Thank you.
All right. That concludes public comment. Thank you. All right. Next up, consent agenda. Any questions, any issues, consent agenda? If not, let's get a motion going.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Easy. Tracy, correspondence?
Correspondence. Over the past couple weeks, we've had a couple emails about our statement policy. We've had 4 emails about the Scarecrow incident, and then an email about the First Street Rail Trail.
Thank you. All right. On to discussion.
Great.
To kick us off?
Yeah, happily. So tonight we're purposely here in the middle school and really want to spend some time just reflecting on a long project that the community really took to heart in building a high quality, state-of-the-art facility for what I think everyone in the room, this was never part of the debate, was whether we needed a new middle school. And really wanting to give this generation and all the generations to come a facility that could really fit the quality and caliber of what we were doing in those old classrooms and elevate that. I think, 6 months in, we can already see, this is so exciting. You see the first signs of how it elevates. All you can do is imagine what the years to come will be as we really live and breathe and normalize the new spaces in ways that we hadn't envisioned yet. So I wanted to ask if we could invite to the table, I was saying before the meeting to a couple of people, it's like 2 worlds exist, like the building committee and the project ran over here, the school committee and all the other things I do ran over here, and they're finally connecting, and I think tonight I want to do that really deliberately. So first I want to recognize that Don Gariello, one of the co-chairs of the building committee from day one, is here. Yes. So we're 6.5 years in, Dawn and I, in terms of formally. My entire tenure has been middle school focused, but 6.5 formally on the building committee. And I invited some members, and those of you on the building committee know these folks, but it seemed time to bring them from that world to this one. So I want to invite to the table Gail Dowd, who's been the town's representative, really managing the fiscal and many other aspects of the project. And then 2 members of our Lero Hill team, Vin Miller and Hunter. I'm going to say your name wrong, Hunter. Yeah, thank you, Apteker. So I was going to invite them over. They've put together some slides to highlight the project and tell a story or 2 and then just have a discussion. But it was just feeling like a great night to step back and be thankful. We're so appreciative. This community put a lot of trust in us a non-MSBA funded project never was one that I took lightly. MSBA, and these were questions we took early. They're not here to oversee the project and hold people accountable. Who's going to do that? And I think the building committee charged us with that and did that firsthand work themselves, and I think that's why we landed where we are in such a successful project. So I'm going to turn it over to Vin and Hunter and Gail. Dawn's coming to the table. I knew we were going to need to bring her up. Yeah, I know. She wanted to stay back there, but yeah. So, well, I'm going to kick it off to them, and really it's conversational, so please engage as we talk. Yeah, are you on the Zoom?
I am.
Okay. So if you screen share, it should project.
I don't have a new screen panels.
Oh, sorry about that. What are you logged in as?
I'll raise my hand. You can see me.
There we go.
Sometimes it's Tina, right? Yeah.
Oh, that happened the other day. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now you'll be made a panelist and you should be able to share. That's what threw me. I was looking for you. There you go.
Thank you. Bear with me. Subtitles. Awesome. Good evening, Concord School Committee. My name's Hunter Apteker. I've had the privilege of serving as an owner's project manager alongside my partner, Vin Miller, for the past few years. It's my honor to be here to celebrate the success of this completion of the Ellen Garrison building and to recognize the collective efforts of the town of Concord. As owner's project managers, Vin and I are tasked with having many difficult conversations regarding budgets, schedules, not all of which are positive. But this presentation is a rare and rewarding example of an opportunity to kind of reflect on this journey that we've had together and celebrate the milestones and share the story of kind of how this building came to be. So there's our beautiful school in the first slide. So this rendering was shown to the town more than 5 years ago at the outset of the project, and it kind of captured Concord's vision to unify its two middle schools into a single modern facility, and achieving this vision required extraordinary coordination, collaboration, and commitment from all parties involved. So as of October 2025, it has a little bit of a new look, and that vision has become a reality. I'd kind of like to walk you through the key milestones that brought us here and answer the age-old question, how did we get here? So in May 2023, some of those student building committee members that you might have seen before in this picture, this is us breaking ground at the future site of the Ellen Garrison building. The ceremony included the project team and really marked the official start of construction, symbolizing the town's investment into its future. Throughout the summer and the fall of 2023, the site was prepared and building footprint began to take shape, setting the stage for steel erection to come in the near future. In December, we had our steel topping off ceremony with the middle school band, student building committee again, and the school building committee. And this milestone marked the completion of the building's structural frame and really was a moment of pride for everyone involved as it kind of began to come to fruition. Now with steel in place, concrete was placed to form the floors you traveled across to be where you are right now. And the building enclosure followed, including the brick facade, storefront windows, and roofing system, really bringing the structure to life. This photo is one of my favorites from 2024. It's a very poignant moment. The old and new buildings standing side by side. And for me, it's just a very powerful symbol of Concord's commitment to providing exceptional educational spaces across generations. In the months that followed, we coordinated a very detailed plan to transition from the beautiful Sanborn and Peabody buildings into the new building. Our team cataloged every piece of furniture to develop a seamless move-in strategy, and a highlight was recycling and redistributing all the surplus furniture, or a majority of it. We had multiple cargo containers, desks, chairs, other materials that were repurposed for underserved communities abroad, keeping them out of landfills, which was a huge goal of the project.
And one of our more complex tasks was the consolidation of 2 libraries into one, documenting every catalog from both buildings, transporting the collections, working closely with the library staff and the vendors to create a unified functional space, which we're really grateful to be sitting in right now. Would not have been possible without the library staff. They were extremely helpful, and all of Concord staff in that matter. In February 2025, a date we all had circled on our calendars in big red marker.
Literally.
Students entered the new school for the first time, and seeing their reactions, wide-eyed, excited, and inspired, is truly one of the most rewarding parts of this work. With the new building occupied, Phase 2 began in spring 2025. We started with the abatement and demolition of Sanborn Middle School, and once cleared, the site was prepped to start work on the new athletic fields. In June 2025, we held the official ribbon cutting ceremony to commemorate the opening of the Ellen Garrison Building, a true celebration of community achievement. And Dr. Hunter, shown here, has been incredibly involved in all aspects of this project, making Vin and my job much easier, and her leadership has been second to none, truly. Over the summer, the grounds at 923 Old Marlborough Road began to transform. Field subgrades were established, and a new irrigation system was installed to support future athletic use. Fast forward to today, irrigation is fully operational, and as you can see in the pictures, grass is beginning to grow. Those fields will need 2 growing seasons to acclimate, but we anticipate many memories to be shared on those fields. As mentioned earlier, the basketball courts and the playgrounds have been turned over to the town, marking the final stages of this long-awaited project. And you have new neighbors on the left-hand side there. Nature is blended with the school, and just in time for Thanksgiving. We're now in the final phase of the project, with Phase 1 complete and Phase 2 wrapping up. The athletic fields, as we mentioned, are establishing. We're going through the punch list, 99% complete, as well as remaining commissioning items. And for Phase 2, fencing is in place, irrigation is installed and connected, and the remaining site is becoming established. Grass is planted. Snow fencing is in place to protect those fields while allowing access to the basketball courts and the playgrounds, which have been turned over to the school for their use. We're going to shift over a little now to some financials, just to give you an idea of what we've been tracking from the beginning of the project and where we currently stand. So coming into this project pre-construction, we were looking at roughly $111,516,000 allocated for this project. And based on our projections, coming through the final months of the project, an estimated final value coming in under $105 million, with estimated savings ranging from $6.5 million to $6.8, which will be broken down in the next few slides with remaining contingency, brief budget summary, and some cost savings for the project. These are our 2 main contingency funds. The fund on the left we're looking at is our hard cost contingency, our construction contingency, which we started out with a budget of $4,591,197. And after our forecasted change orders that we're currently reviewing, that balance remains at $1.8 million. And our soft costs owner's contingency, roughly $877,000. Remaining $307,473. So both budgets are extremely healthy currently, with 40% hard costs and 35% soft costs. This is just a brief glimpse into our world. This is basically how we monitor all of our financials throughout the duration of the project. Forecasted costs, unforeseen circumstances, broken out into our construction, our architectural and engineering, as well as our administrative costs, as well as the consultants line by line going down. Tracking over to the right side, you can see our expenditures to date and balance remaining. So our next slide kind of breaks that out a little further. You'll see these cells in red are cells that we've determined will not be expensed for the duration of the project remaining. and they can be returned, those balances, to the project contingency funds. So $347,000 coming from architectural, as well as roughly $45,000 coming from administrative owner's project management services. And tying in that box in the top right, those contingency slides we touched on prior to this, coming out to that $6.5 million to $6.8 million that we discussed. Any questions for any of the financials? I know I threw a lot at you at once.
It never gets borrowed.
It never gets borrowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is you borrowed as you went.
Yeah.
So that is money that never
Okay, great.
Good thing Justin's not here. He'd want that rock wall.
Oh. There's always a wish list. I just want to be sure we don't neglect to thank everyone, and that's almost impossible tonight. The other professional members of the team, SMMA as our architect, and that design team, the CTA construction, they were at both of them were at our building committee meeting last week, so we did get to say it to them, but I want to be sure we talk about them tonight. This was a big project with a lot of intricacies. You can see them even in this room. And I think CTA really took to heart the vision and pride and quality in the work. And it really showed, kept us on schedule, which was not an easy task at points. And the budget is as much their responsibility as it is the town's. So really just grateful for the collective energy that took to pull this all together. The building committee, who has essentially almost all been attacked, give or take a couple of members. One even left and came back, right, Don? Yeah. But the commitment on so many levels has been from everyone. So.
Yeah, financially at our last meeting we talked about this. A lot of this was scoped during COVID,
yeah,
and so this could have gone, very poorly. And we're very fortunate that it went very well. And I think it's cost discipline, Gail and the team throughout the whole project, including through finalization. So.
And the community took a risk. Things were escalating literally around us. Remember, it took 3 town meetings to get the project through over time. And what we've watched since then, I think everyone was concerned we wouldn't be able to maintain the escalation as it went, which is why so much contingency kept getting added. But what we've watched since, and this building is 550-ish per square foot. Projects, Dawn is an architect of school architecture, as her daughter mentioned. So what's your average project right now? 900. Yeah. So the risk the community took when we decided to go forward was the best decision that could have been made. It easily would have been a much more expensive building by waiting. Yeah. So, nice to have the hindsight that you don't have the crystal ball for, but I'm just very grateful for all the hard decisions that were made as things happened. And yes, it happened in COVID, and we did some of this from our homes and all of it. So just kept chugging.
And is it typical of school construction to come in this far under budget? Like, is that pretty typical?
Am I on?
Yep. Yeah.
My apologies. In my experience, I have not seen this kind of money saved. The coming in under budget, sometimes you'll see $500,000, you'll see $1 million. To see you come $2 million under is something worth talking about. But the added effects of the other contingency savings that happened throughout this project came from due diligence. They came from 1,000 times holding the line. I looked at Dr. Hunter again for the leadership. My experience in other projects, and I've got about probably 10 schools now. I've never had a superintendent so intact, so day-to-day, but yet still keeping a balanced demeanor about it throughout all the highs and lows that happen in a 2-year construction project. It's unique, it's different, and it was wildly welcome. So thank you. And the answer to your question is not that much. You see savings, and it feels great as an OPM when you say on time and under budget, but we get to brag about this one.
If I may, I want to echo what Vin has said about Lori's leadership. I work with a lot of superintendents, a lot, and her leadership and day-to-day hands-on, answering questions, solving problems has been, in my experience, some of the best that I've seen in my entire career, which is almost 30 years of schools in Massachusetts. So thank you.
Well, I thank this team. I don't sit with them day to day because I'm doing a lot of other things, but they call me and know when to ask. So it's been a really great flow. You know, Gail, when I get a call from Gail, I'm like, oh, they need my attention for a little bit. So it's been a really great partnership all the way around. Okay.
All right, I'll just tie things up, but just echoing what we're getting a lot of, but this project has been a true community effort. It wouldn't have been possible without Dr. Hunter, Gail Dowd, Don Gariello, the town of Concord, its departments, our architect, SMMA, and CTA Construction. Their dedication and teamwork have made this vision a reality. And the school building committee has been extremely involved at all stages of the project, whether taking site visits in the frigid December or monthly school building committee meetings at 7:30 in the morning. They always showed up in high spirits with hard-hitting questions to ensure this project delivered the promise that they made to their community. It's been truly rewarding to watch. So many different individuals coming together, taking time out of their days, their own lives, to work as a well-oiled machine, just with the goal of providing an investment in their community and the future of its youth. And last slide. On behalf of Leroy Hill and all the parties involved in this project, I want to thank you, the school committee, and the town of Concord for your commitment, your trust, and your partnership. It's been an honor to work alongside you on this project. And Concord will always hold a special place in your heart.
Last thanks I need to give Justin and Cameron. I'm not even going to try to capture what he tackled here, and the staff here. You know, the impact of doing a building project on a school has its impact while regular education is going on and we're getting divided, and what they need to maintain and do while attention is split. And then the actual physical design and the input we needed from them, so it was spaces that they could thrive in. And then, of course, the move itself and the acclimation of students, literally on a dime last February. They didn't miss a beat. It was stunning to walk through this building that first couple of days we were here. They were ready and up and teaching, and that was not what we expected. So just kudos to Justin and the entire middle school staff, really key players in the success.
If I may, one more unsung hero. There's a custodian here, Ted Noak.
Yeah.
I came here in 2023. I met him on the first day. We had problems getting around. From day one until even today, he has been an invisible sentry there, always, always, always able to fix whatever that little item happens.
Mm-hmm.
Time in, time out, hundreds of times. Truly unique guy.
With a smile.
Yeah.
Always with a personal demeanor. So even down to the custodian, there is a level of commitment here that I haven't seen in other places.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
No. Thank you all.
I just want to reiterate what everyone has said. I think that the biggest thank you is the community, everyone here, but Dr. Hunter, thank you so much. I mean, this building would not be in existence without you. You have fought for funding time and time again. You looked for MSBA funding year after year. When that wasn't going to pan out, you looked for another way. At every term that you've hit a wall, you've found a way around it. So I'm just, as a parent, as a community member, as a school committee member who's really been on the sidelines of this whole project and just been watching it all happen, I'm just so grateful for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. So, little anecdote. When I was touring as a candidate for this position, now, gosh, 9 years ago, we pulled into the Sanborn parking lot. I'm with school committee members. I've been to the other buildings already. And out of my mouth, as a candidate, I look at them and I go, you need a new middle school. And it just was such a glaring hole in what we offer here. And I think it just was that important. So I think we did right by the children. It will be my happy place for the however many number of years I'm here. This will be where I come. I know every nook, cranny, nail, and it just really feels like we've succeeded in serving the children of Concord well. So, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Ellen Garrison recognitions.
Yes, I just wanted to spend a little time, since we're here, talking about this you heard in my goals, but definitely the place to remind you on, update you is in this building. We have taken, and I say we because Justin should be part of this discussion, but we let him go home. We've taken really seriously the importance of Ellen Garrison's naming in this community. So I want to say that very clearly publicly. And we just needed to get our feet under us and get in the building, and now we are actively planning. So and this is the short-term plan. There's probably more to come, but these are the ones that are actively happening. We have worked with the Robbins House to plan an evening on November 4th. And we're going to be showing a brief movie that highlights Ellen and her impact. And then there's someone here going to be a caricature of her and represent her and be Ellen in live. So we're really excited, and that is a community event. Certainly we want families and parents to come, but we really want the broader community as well. So that's 6:30 to 8. We're also going to have the student building committee offer tours of the school before and after, because we know there are still folks who haven't been able to access the facility, and we really want everyone who wants to see it a chance to come see the facility itself. We're also working with the Robbins House, and it's been fun. She's been sending me these this week. I asked Jen Turner, the director there, if she could find some quotations of Ellen's that were really capturing her spirit and intent, and then to put together a short biography. We have that now, and we're going to find a setting prominent here to put it on the wall and really make sure. It's really important that the students who come through this site know who she is. It's not just a name on the sign or a name on our letterhead. It really is important, and it's such a perfect fit. Boy, as Playbook when it happened last week, I thought, I mean, Ellen is Playbook, right? So we're going to make that connection, which leads to the third piece that we're going to do in the shorter term, is that all of the kids will be exposed. And we've got some great resources being shared with us in an advisory, upcoming home base, which is the middle school's advisory, another version of a clip of her history and really impact, so that she's just part of the living, breathing life of kids here. And I can see a time, I don't think in that far distant future, because the Playbook Initiative is about bystanders and upstanders, and Ellen was an upstander, and I can pretty quickly see that it's going to become part of the language here. So a lot more to come, but we wanted to just let you know what's in the works.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That should be fun.
It's going to be great.
Great. CTE policy. Shelley, do you have that? Who is it?
Shelley has it.
Okay. Second read.
Do you want to share it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just quickly.
Can you pull it?
Thanks,
Screen
Ben.
share.
Thanks, Hunter.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Gail. Is that your bag?
No.
Is that Don's bag? Is that your bag?
Did any of you leave your bag before you're all the way out the room?
That's mine. That's mine.
Okay.
Oh, it's Bob's. Never mind. Bob's throwing us off.
Yeah.
All right. Shelley got that up while we were just.
Okay. This is our second read of the policy. I think we've made some comments. They've been incorporated. Hope you guys took a look. I guess let's get a motion to approve it, and then we can have a discussion. Okay. Any discussion?
No, I think it looks good.
Okay.
It's ready.
All those in favor?
Great, thank you.
We had a bunch of questions
Last time, yeah.
Okay. So we need a vote, right? So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right. Last but not least, the Thoreau Playground donor acknowledgements.
Okay, I think Mitch is online if you
Yes.
want to promote him. I
Happy
think
to.
this can be relatively quick. We've already talked about most of this. So phase one of the Thoreau Playground is open. It's really wonderful to see all the kids enjoying it and playing on it. Phase two will begin in the spring. What we're talking about tonight is as part of phase two, there will be about 200 tickets and about 20 plaques for some of the larger projects and donations. And you all should have it. There was a list of what all of those were, what people wanted them to say, and we just have to approve it.
Can you just describe what a picket is? Like, I saw the list of pickets, I'm like, what does it look like?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Mitch.
Okay, great.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
We can hear you, Mitch.
Yes, so a picket is basically one of the vertical pieces of wood on a fence.
On a fence, so now.
And in fact, you may have seen a similar type of donor recognition at the Carlisle Castle Playground. That was one of the inspirations for our project. And so, yeah, for all of the donors above a certain level, they were able to kind of dedicate a picket and engrave, a name or a memory on that picket to become part of that fencing.
And then some of the larger projects, the plaques, will just be black.
Are you on mute? Check.
I'm not connected to audio.
Oh, okay. Some of the larger projects that were like larger donations will have a bigger plaque, things like the musical equipment or benches, accessibility tables, things like that. So those will be just black plaques that we put on the equipment, a gift from the languages in the document. The request is that we approve this so that they can get it to the vendor to go into production.
And what is the fencing made out of? Like, what are the pickets made out of? You said engraving. Is it wood or aluminum?
The pickets are actually made from recycled plastic, so it is very durable and will last a very long time.
Mitch, while you're on, we should just thank you. You were a really big part of the Thoreau Playground success, and we're really appreciative for your leadership.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mitch has put many hours into this project. Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you.
Very cool. All right, so we need a vote, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Move to approve?
Yeah,
The Thoreau Playground
whole thing?
acknowledgements.
All right. Move to approve the Thoreau Playground donor acknowledgements.
I'll second.
Awesome. Any discussion?
Thank you to the Thoreau Playground Committee and all the hard work. I know all the fundraising took so much, but also just the time. I mean, you would present to us last year through this whole thing, so thank you for all your work on that.
Yeah, it's awesome. We see pictures from Dr. Hunter and from friends. It's such a cool place. So.
Yeah, my kids get to go there every day.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
You were really lucky. You got the
I know,
playground, you got the middle school, you had it all.
Yeah, I mean, I heard there's a big contingent of kids that just stay after school and play in that playground.
Well, they're like, I can't go because there's after school. My best friend we can't go there for a little while, and I'm like, what a great thing to say.
Yeah.
Go back to school.
Yeah, but I love this tradition, kind of starting with the recognition of the pickets. I think it's so cool, and Castle in the Clouds. So awesome. So thank you for doing this. So all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Efficient meeting.
Yeah.
I think the times really help.
They
Do you
do.
want to just talk about the times real quick? Just so people know
Well,
that we're going to try and keep to our times on our agenda?
yeah, someone at the table, not me, recommended we put times on our agenda items, and
So just see
it worked.
moving forward. Yeah, it
We're
works.
supposed to be 1 hour 20 minutes. We're at 1 hour 15. So.
Wow.
Wow.
Ahead of schedule.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.